Oh, and my little, this guy, my shit happens, isn't on there, so right now, I'm sitting in a chair, and the reason I decided to, like, oh, let me try this, is because I was dancing around my room, picking up, and after I had gone outside to smoke one of my little super snarky seafood, like Pinterest, most Pinteresty, skinny little doobies, like toothpick, well, not toothpick, but, you know, very tiny, one paper, but perfectly rolled, like so tight, and I was rolling, well, the first one I did was, for, it was a utilitarian mission, and I just, still did my best, and remembered what my mom taught us when we were young, and, I think before I smoked, Keith was probably, already smoking, but, yeah, so she taught us how to roll a doobie, which is funny, because she didn't smoke either, until the government came and stole my inheritance. That's hyperbole, but not a huge exaggeration. That's just what I like to say about that chapter. I got distracted. Oh, so I don't remember what I was just saying, but whatever, it doesn't matter. I went out, oh yeah, rolling a doobie. So the first one I did the other day was, just to be able to smoke it, not in a pipe, and also gauge, the strength and versus the size. And I found out from my medicine woman that it was all the same strain. And at first when she gave it to me, I thought, I was like, this can't be right. We're both living in the hotel, in, different rooms, but, and she was like, oh, all I want is my jar back. I was like, okay. And I opened it, and, whatever the, like, small mason jars, ball jar, but hers was like the old-fashioned ones with the raised glass. But see, if I were not sitting in a room I'm sitting at my desk, which is crazy, but I put my Zafo down. Yeah, so, I can't sit at a desk. I'm actually in a class right now. Yes, I'm not being a good art teacher right now. Oops, especially not on that one. Oopsie-doopsie. There we go. That was way too fat. But, I'm thinking about art basics again right now because oh yeah, animation. I'm like, my class? No. I am learning Rough Animator. And so first of all, backtrack is I'm not a very good artist. Skills-wise, some people are like, oh my god, like, how can you say that? You're trying to 3D cup while you're, really high, and those are more like punk rock. Her glass doesn't have those, but that's funny. I was doing a little time traveling last night, so I got instruction to do a few things. Meditate, which, I got away with. I do active meditation, and everything in my life is a meditation. And Conin's like, yeah, we know. But, which is true, but I just, you know, A, I'm stubborn, and B, I forgot how much I love to meditate. Not really, but for me, I just felt so much pressure to do this, which I love to do. So, but, you know, to get something, and the rush was about getting, you know, money from it, rewarded, paid, whatever, you know, by saying, hey, here's my PayPal or my, you know, Cash App at Snarky Seafood, which you could have done, you know, a long time ago, but, and it was outside pressure, and, it was like, just like, crept in over time, so, I didn't fully notice. I consider myself, and I am a very, like, I have a strong mind. I was like, oh, you know, like, I would love to be hypnotized, but, you know, I also say, like, yeah, you couldn't hypnotize me unless I allowed you to do so, but it's a matter of, you know, trust in the hypnotist. What was the point of that? Strong mind. Oh yeah, the little things creeping in over the years. Little outside comments and judgments and opinions and perspectives that were not mine about my work. And mainly coming down to, is it work, you know? Yes, duh, obviously, and like, that was the obvious answer anyway, but where the problem came in, you know, not for me, to me it was just kind of like, later, whatever, was that I wasn't making money from it. So therefore, it didn't get the title of being work, you know. It was playing on my phone, but it didn't get talked about much at all, which is part of the, you know, one issue, is communication was lacking, and interest in what I do, which, here's another, like, this is why it's a little difficult, to, you know, boxing, labeling, you know, shipping, that's later, but this is right now, I'm shipping this to you, sending it to you, and I'm going to do it consciously, right now, intentionally, which it's always, like, if I say I'm sending this to you, I've already come from a place of love and, you know, thinking about, like, benefit and yay and power and, oh wow, like, that is something I can do that, you know, not everybody can do at the moment for themselves. Later, we'll get into, it's included, how we all, you know, we all can do whatever in this, you know, that, be a surgeon even, but it's a matter of either learning, which relearning, or remembering the skill set. And to be a surgeon, you know, you have to have a very steady hand, you have to have firm grasp on anatomy, on physiology, like, there's a lot. So, you know, that might be a separate aspect of it. You know, say you're, oh, you know anatomy, you're, you know, da-da-da-da, you're all the other things, but your hands are a little shaky. So you have to either train your hands or remember that not only do you know how, but to do just that, steady your hand in a moment of crisis, or, you know, when arteries and other things are intersecting with a person's life and future, and all that. But that's already in you. So that skill is that, you know, and that's what all this unlimited potential stuff is about. And that's one of the things that is, you know, a lot of things that I talk about are very, very simple. They can get really complex and, you know, multifaceted, and, you know, we can go as deep or as, you know, as is necessary or desired. But a lot of these truths are just super simple. Yeah, love is the answer. Okay. How many hours, days, months, years, whatever can we spend talking about love being the answer? Well, we can talk about the cheese factor, the, you know, reality factor. Can you live on love? Can you eat love? Can you drink love? You know, eat love? Well, we could get into a conversation about spiritual salsa, which sustained me and my buddy as well, my traveling companion. When we got to Kauai and we're stuck on the south side at Salt Pond, wishing for things we didn't have that come, you know, refrigerated, etc. So I made spiritual salsa, you know, with my thought, my intention, my love, my creativity, and my, like, I'm really trying to make this with my mind for you. So that's the thing. It's like, yeah, for myself, you know, I could do a lot of things that take more oomph, more love to do for someone else. Because I have to love you enough to, you know, put in the effort and the whatnot. So there's my answer to that. But, so, speaking of Kauai, and circling back to, you know, is this work what I'm doing? Well, you know, if I were already getting paid for this, like in dollars and donations and whatnot, because one of my things I say that, you know, and critics are benefiting from, you know, my manifestation skills in, you know, tangible terms, like money coming in, $1,500 that wasn't there for a trip to Disneyland. And that's a long story, and for me it has a lot of depth, and you know, about giving and receiving and strings and all kinds of things. But so then I say, like, haha, I'm like, you gotta take a picture of me with, like, you know, 8 checks all fanned out, and it was like, see, this is, you know how I told you I get paid the big bucks. Well, this is it. It's payday or whatever. The acknowledgement of those miracles, of my efforts, my work, what is a skill set and a toolbox, and the culmination of, you know, 41 years of blood, sweat, tears, intention, energy, everything, like everything that I am, you know, all the places I've walked, the interactions I've had, that is all, you know, I carry those things, I bring those things. It's currency, you know, it could be considered that, like, you know, paying what I paid for this education, that I'm here to, you know, pass on my knowledge and skills and, you know, everything but the kitchen sink, you know, passing that on to you like a college professor, you know, so professors don't get paid a lot, but they get paid, and when you come into this classroom, between whatever hours, you know, everybody considers that professor that work. So, yeah, when I got paid, you know, by the PTD, so I'm here being your guide, your person, and while I'm no longer in that relationship, and the dynamics, like it's back to being nobody's business, almost, you know, what I do with my time. It's not being spent, you know, anywhere, even your time. It's nobody's business but mine. And if I want to, you know, give away all of my things that, you know, people get paid for, if I want to give them away, that's my business, that's my choice. So, yeah, we're back to that, and I have, which is like so many realizations. Oh yeah, that's something that I should just get out of the way. So a lot of people, and I'm deciding some stuff with you, and right up to the last minute, but because I was, you know, I'm like, all right, I'm back to work again, because you know, I'm always working, but I haven't been producing. I've been, you know, healing and working on personal, you know, logistics and whatnot, other things on my plate, but I'm back to work, and while still, you know, doing, my primary focus is on not living in a hotel. You know, that's number one priority for me. So you can help me do that by one of my lower priorities, working and figuring out how to get paid for it. But, you know, obviously getting paid for my work instead of giving it away for free. But see, I'm doing a mix of that, and obviously, because unless there's a paywall at some point when you're watching this, yay, you've obviously paid it, so thank you. But you know, I'm still gonna give it away now. You know, like a drug dealer. First one's free. For mine, they're all going to be as free as possible. This is the kitchen sink, by the way, if you didn't know. I forget that I'm high, and I forget that I'm working, since I've added that cannabis into my work routine. But yeah, did I make my point? Well, I will at one point, or I already did enough for me at least, so 'cause I've forgotten what it was, and I'm not trying to enjoy myself, because guess what? If I enjoy myself, you guys are gonna, and I said guys, you folks, you people, you my future tribe mates, acknowledged tribe mates, mutually, yeah, because I'm already, like, I already am in that, you already are that to me, but, so yeah, like, if I could give it away for free, that's the dream, really, is, like, if I could give my time and energy, and whatever else, resources, lots of those things are, or could be currency, and that is my thing, is I don't want my relationships to be transactional, and while I don't mind if they are transactional, I want my consciousness and my whoever I'm participating with, like you guys, in this moment, I want us to both forget that is an aspect of our relationship. So, and that comes down to, which I started to say, was, if I'm having fun, you're going to have more fun. And, this being a commodity, whatever, our relationship being transactional to whatever degree it is at this moment, I'm happy with the terms at this moment, and if you're here, that should mean that you are as well. See, this is something I found out, that if this were like moving the background image more, this is something that I've done for years now, but it's called I almost said rototilling, and then I almost said something else, but rotoscoping, yeah, that makes sense. But why it appeals to me is the layered nature of it. This is not the greatest example, but if I try to make it better for you, it's gonna, fuck it up. Oh, see, there, now I don't know if I'll be able to do that again, because once you click out of there, but that was the point, was that, something, I don't remember, I lost it, but doing this, oh yeah, it was about my glass, the layers of it, and, the point of all that is that, I used to paint on, and do again, and will, when I have the opportunity and the materials, paint on glass, and do like kind of collage-y stuff, which its first thing started with combining my writing and my, visual art, and, I was like, oh yeah, I like some writing on my whatevers, and I'm just like, I like doodling on my letters, and the Griffin and Sabine, is that the book series? Check that out, but I like that style, that is my art style, and the layered nature, the, read between the lines, close all, that's my jam, I make connections, I you know, animals, hello, go back there. I'm a spider, you know. I am this is what kind of spider I am. But, you know, my favorite book when I was a kid, I think it was maybe my first favorite book, Charlotte's Web, you know. I fucking, like, that just hit me, resonated with me on every level. I'm trying a different style here. I switched it up mid-swoop. Yeah, I just, like, I fucking, yeah. Wilbur, Charlotte, like, I was every, yeah, I related with Wilbur, I related with Charlotte, That's what my point was going to be. Thank you. With doing this is that there's people out there that, you know, do readings, and what they're doing on YouTube is, like, for the collective. And I was trying to figure out, okay, well, how do I do that? Well, it can be done by me, but it requires a lot more thought and time, and I feel like it would have been wasted time, because I'm not, like, me trying to squeeze myself into every other box on YouTube. It's a disservice to all of us, because I'm not that, and, you know, there isn't a box for me, at least, you know, not currently. And, like, hey, if you find one, great. I've been trying to find them for my integrity, my authenticity, to, you know, market myself to you guys. And it's just been, and that was, that's the wrong color. That was in service to trying to fit into somebody else's box that I wasn't working. And that's not true, you know. You know, but was it bringing in money for, you know, the collective adventure, my family, my daughter? Well, I don't know. Is money for a trip to Disneyland, does that count? Well, I didn't look at it that way, but until I had to make it transactional, that wasn't my choice. But I'm also very practical, and, you know, I'm great with money, and I can budget, and, you know, that's part of my flow as well. But, ooh, that's a lot of training. If somebody could, you know, you're going to pay them to help you figure out your financial life, you know, cool. I can do that, but that's not my area of expertise. But, you know, at one point in my life, when I was no longer mad at marijuana, I wasn't ever mad at her, or him, them. But that was the connective tissue of, you know, the government stealing my inheritance, so to speak. It was, you know, an ounce of weed changed everything for our family. I was like, no, I don't want to be anywhere near it. Like, the fear of that whole experience, and I'm not somebody who's a, you know, scaredy person. I've been trying to look at, you know, areas of fear in my life, and oh yeah, they're fucking everywhere. This process makes them less and less. They shrink in size, and they shrink in number of things that you're afraid of. Spiders, not one of them. My daughter is, you know, has decided, but I reminded her that making a decision for yourself like that to, you know, be afraid of spiders when she wasn't, when she loved them, and, you know, maybe didn't love them like me, but she must not have read Charlotte's Web, which I don't know how that's possible. I probably read it to her. That's crazy. I never draw, never. I think this might be my first ever, actually. That's crazy. I never draw spiders with, you know, their more than one phalange, whatever the spider segments are called. But they always, I always, you know, stop right at this one. But I've been thinking about spider anatomy just in the past, like, 3 weeks, because I want to know how they do their art, how they build those webs, you know, that are at their houses. They're, you know, animal insect traps. They're human traps. People that are, you know, afraid of them when they walk into them. Even me, who was not afraid, like, whoa, I'll still, like, because Rye loves to say, like, I scared you. I'm like, well, technically, you didn't scare me. You startled me. And I make a distinction. That is part of who I am. And I make it out loud, and I share that distinction, you know, with my daughter, because she's my daughter. And, like I shared with her that deciding, because I saved a spider, Clarice, no, she had a friend, oh, maybe it was Clarice, no, because I would have thought it was Silence Lamps. Sure, but that's probably where it started. We'll say Clarice. Maybe it was Clarice. Anyway, saved a spider in our hotel room. Not this room. The hotel room that I rented to be able to spend the night with my kiddo. Because that, oopsie, I have a feeling that's where I'm at right now, is, you know, separated and dealing. I see so many things in there, like cute little thin little eyelashes. That's why I want to get into animation, because I want to be able to, like, share more. I'm going to use actually those as her little cheeks as her eyelashes. And by her, that's me in rainbow spider form. Although rainbow spiders, it's, you know, unlike most other species, the men have to dress real pretty for us, so that we decide to pick them and carry on the species, carry on life together with them. In my case, my ex is a woman, and I was run over by a truck, and well, in the Bible, you know, those ladies were having babies when they were, and like 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 babies when they were like 400 and some years old. So I'm not going to limit myself and say that I can't have babies, but I pretty much want to limit myself and say, yeah, I can have babies. At least not babies out of my vagina. And these are my babies. You guys are my babies. But yeah, because that's the thing with like thought and belief and energy and the power that we have, the potential power that we have is, yeah, I can, you know, decide that my body can or cannot have babies. I don't have that skill at the moment that I'm aware of. It's in there somewhere. Those are my beliefs, and if you're gonna stick around with me, chances are they're probably already your beliefs, or aspects of them are, and you're interested one way or the other. I was like, do spiders have noses? I changed this, and like that's the thing, is like seeing the way that I see them. I can't bring it to life for you, you know, at least not now. But that's why I wanted to get into animation, to present this in a way, or like ideally, if I had the money to like find artists that I trust to be able to translate for me visually, I'm totally down with that. Like, and then I'll just do it for fun. When it becomes something that, when it becomes, you know, a product, that's where I get like, meh, I'm uncomfortable there. It's not fun for me. I love negotiating. I love business. I love playing Monopoly. I can be competitive. You know, I win Monopoly. But, you know, all of it's fun. And that is the key. One of the simple keys to life is, you know, if it's not fun, don't do it. Wait, hold the brakes, pump the brakes there. That's not it. It should be fun. Everything. And like, starting with like, alright, what's your definition of fun? You should enjoy everything that you do with your life, every moment, every activity. And if you don't, there has to be, well, not there has to be, you might want to look at what adjustments could be made. So, enjoy, but I'm going to just use fun. Fun on one side. This is your activity. You know, building a web. And then, what's the one I'm trying to make? Everything should be fun. Alright, fun. That's activity. And, so we'll just put this as, yeah, see, that's the thing. It's like, these things aren't necessarily, like, this goes on that side, but we're going to get there, and it's going to make sense, because I will present it at some point, that is right for you, where we can agree that, okay, this is what you're saying, this is what I'm picking up from what you're putting down. So, everything in your life should be fun, like we're talking about work. And if it is like, that is what I'm trying to say is like, so that's really, these two are connected. that is like, so, this is like, let's say half two. Your half two level. Okay, so, you know, and this applies to that, and then that applies to that, and the light bulb for this illustration is going to be your thoughts, your beliefs, your etc. So I'm trying to pick a lane. I'm doing this live though, so you know, I could have written down this, like, what's the point I'm trying to make or wanting to share, blah blah blah, and what's the way to do it. And yeah, I could illustrate it and do all that stuff, but to me, I think if I saw this, I would be more excited by, you know, when I was thinking about like what it would kind of look like, or what the vibe to me is like the tiger lady, just the like, woo, you know, just she's just going with her own flow, her, you know, fearlessly, as far as putting it out there. You know, she wasn't concerned about what she looked like. She didn't think anybody was going to watch. So, and right now, you know, that is currently true for me. Those are not my thoughts, though. So I'm thinking the opposite of that, and thinking like, oh my God, what's going to be funny is like if there's, you know, thousands of you one day, and, you know, my end of that where I could be like, is like, oh, what are they going to think? Like, is this, you know, you only have one chance to make a first impression. All of that. But I think, you know, as a consumer, as somebody who, you know, takes in, receives art and communication and ideas and all of that, I like it artistically, because there's something for different days. It's different. Sometimes I like something that's just like boop 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 bullet points, but if I'm like gonna find a spiritual teacher, or a, you know, a life coach, or, you know, all the areas that I have needs for somebody who knows more than me, etc. You know, different teachers for different jobs, but because my whole thing is about, you know, all of these things are connected, you know, finding somebody that, other than, let's say, Kuan Yin, who she is my sifu, but so is everything else. So are you. So is this room. So are the spiders outside. Da 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 da. Those are all, like, I take it wherever I can get it. But if I, you know, right now, and I have been, but I haven't been like asking, like, seriously, because I don't want it to influence my process, looking for my own, you know, teacher, guide, mentor, in one person who has everything that I have, and then more. And everything that Kuan Yin has, and, you know, the PTB as a whole, the spiders, the earth, the music, the blah, 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 that they are all of those things teach me. I allow them to, you know, for me to receive the gifts of every type of knowledge, of understanding, of entertainment, of love, of, you know, all of the things that I love, that we all love, in whatever form they come in. I would rather encounter something like this rather than, you know, what's his name? The fucking first life coach guy, Tony Robbins. You know, yeah, not for me, you know. But like his, you know, speech on blah, 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 blah. Yes, for that aspect, whatever. So, and that's the thing, is like, I know that I'm not going to be, you know, for everyone. I don't know that, but I'm guessing, and if I ended up being that, well then good, we can all go home, because, you know, we're all here, we all agree that, like, you know, we want more love, less, fear, pain, you know. But I don't want a utopia that has no challenges, and, you know, it's like, if there isn't the opposite, the flip side, the, you know, the duality, then how do you differentiate? And, you know, what's the point? Where's the fun in that? So, yeah, I just like, woo, I allowed myself to go. And we're at 46 minutes on here. Yeah, I left a whole lot of points undone. But, so, just to finish that one, if your work isn't fun, but you have to work. Why do you have to work? For food. Shelter, and food, shelter, those are, you know, that's really all you need. And it is, you know, so, and then everything else is why we work. Medicine, you know, shoes, tobacco, you know, marijuana, a car, which is, you know, transportation. So, and it's about whittling away. What is everything, right? What's a car? Well, it's freedom. It's, you know, shelter. It's a resource that saves other resources. You know, when you can drive a car to work, or to play, or to pick up your kids, or to go to the hospital. Cars, the, you know, close distance, it's the best transportation there is. It's the best vehicle to accomplish that task, whatever it is, to get from A to B. But most people don't have cars. You know, ride the bus, walk, blah, blah, blah. There are alternatives. So there is where choice, free will, all of that, the level, like, your responsibility, your part in, you know, I'm choosing a car. Okay, I gotta put gas in it, you know, tires, blah, 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 fill it up with gas. I already said that. You know, it's an expense. So then that creates new responsibilities, new offshoots. So the choices, looking at your choices of how you spend your hour, you can't read it, resources, which is your time, your energy. That can be broken down, obviously, into your love, your blah, blah, blah. So we're back to this. How you think about all of those things. How you break all of this shit down. Your responsibility, your thoughts, that's your power. That's, you know, of your primary resources. And, yeah, I opened up a way bigger, way bigger, can box, whatever, than I was planning on. I wasn't planning on anything other than record and whatnot. But yeah, this is just about like why me, because this is how I'm gonna share with you what I have, my resources, you know, my path, my webs, my spirit animal, you know, my story, my creativity, and how you choose at this point. It's 100% your choice, because, although no, it's not, because it's, at this point, it's up to us, because I've put at least one form that you can, you know, say, thank you, I appreciate you, and you can afford to, you know, compensate me. Then together, we will make this thing I'm doing, this thing that we are doing, we can make it work. And then you can say with your time, I'm working, I'm going to school, I'm, you know, visiting the lighthouse, which is where I'm getting my education. What's that gonna turn into for you, you know? Maybe I can help you on your path, free up, you know, your mind, your time, your whatever, so that you can, you know, have a life that where you're deciding, like, hey, you know, I'm gonna decide to think about things, you know, cup more than half full, you know, your attitude is everything. So, alright. The funny thing is, once you click out of like Spotify, and I'm drawing using this app, which is it's not on though. Alright, well, I just realized that but it says it is. Okay, that's weird. That's why having my avatar in this helps keep me on track and know, like, because, you know, at the beginning when I started doing this, like, I didn't realize that if the screen, you know, closed, that was a setting I had to put, because I was like, oh yeah, I was just talking and drawing and whatever for 45 minutes, and it wasn't recording. That's my time, and that I've already put in with, you know, learning what I've learned, and, you know, yeah, so I have a kid to take care of. You know, I'm living in a hotel right now. I need a place to live for my daughter and myself that is ours. And from there, you know, I'm gonna build. So you wanna get in on the ground construction, yours, mine, and ours, go for it. I would be so fucking stoked, you know. The one that I know for sure is Cash App. The other ones, the PayPal related, Venmo, even Venmo, but I think we're good on Venmo. But because it's a matter of attaching my outgoing funds to other things, and knowing, you know, right now my income is what I have every month, once a month, you know. I have less than $1,000 to do everything. So, you know, but Cash App works, and it's attached to my incoming, and, you know, so if you want to kick in, that is a for sure way to do it. This is the most I've talked about money with you guys ever, in, you know, sheesh, dozens, probably hundreds of hours of recordings. Yeah, because I'm ready. I'm open for business, and you know, we'll figure it out. But I'm gonna do my best to have money be the least whatever aspect of this in our relationship, and because I do have 100% faith and trust in you guys and myself, but in the PTB, us, our team. Go, baby, go. I just saw 5, 5, 5, 5. You know, it's all gonna work out because it's supposed to. It has to, you know. It doesn't have to, but come on. Let's fucking do this thing. Alright, I'm out of here. And that was me speaking on multiple levels. Alright. I'm Snarky Sifu Sarah, the spider. And I'm here to spend my, I almost said spin. I could have gone so many directions there. Let's do some weaving and building, and let's be that change and all that good shit. Alright. Peace.